Hello and welcome to the Fifth Sparrow No More. I am Kristen and I am so glad that you're here to DIY craft with me. Today we're going to be tackling stencils. Now, I have only done stencils probably 3 times if I can remember correctly. I am not all that great at it and I'm learning, but I've got lots of new things that I want to try in the crafting world, and y'all are along on the ride with me. So so back to the stencils. What we're going to do is we're going to take some wooden boxes, and they were actually drawers inside of a very large tool chest at an estate sale. And so each of these drawers were wooden, $2 each, and I just couldn't pass them up. They were very rusty and crusty, and their first transformation was to get them cleaned up. I did a whitewash on them and put transfers and handles on them as trays. Some of them have sold, but I still had 5 left, and I wanted to do something different. So you'll see coming up that I learned how to take the transfers off, and I took the handles off and then transformed them into old-fashioned beverage crates. So let's get started with this project. I know that you're going to love it, and even if you don't find drawers in an old man's garage, you can make these boxes super simple and create these yourself. Let's get started. So these are the boxes that I was talking about. They were almost like drawers in that tool chest, and I did whitewash them, add those handles and the transfers to act as trays. I had to get the transfer off because they were flaking off anyway. I found that if you use a heat gun, that it makes it gummy and melts into the wood. Big mistake. So using a hair dryer with a metal scraping tool was just the right amount of heat to get these transfers removed from the trays. And I did this to all 5 of the trays, removing their transfers. I painted this first tray with the color Kudzu, a Dixie Belle chalk paint. It's one of my favorite green colors, and I use it quite a bit. I only did 1 coat of this green. It was enough to cover, and I left the bottom of these trays the original whitewashed color that they were. For this tray, I used Dusty Blue, another Dixie Belle chalk paint color. This is the first time I've been using this, and I thought it was a very pretty color. For this tray, I used Dixie Belle Colonel Mustard. This color It actually took 2.5 coats to cover it. Now I want to show you what we do on the porch and where we paint. Sunday sits just like this and watches his lake and his animals and sits like a little human. Let me show you his view. That is our lake off the back porch. It is the best place to paint at, and I'm ever so grateful. Back to Colonel Mustard. Like I said, 2.5 coats of this color just to get it to cover up the old transfer that was left, the shading from the transfer. And for this tray, I use vintage duck egg. Does anyone else do this, where you peel off a brand new top and don't want to waste the paint, so you smear it all over your project? I don't want to waste any of that paint, so I do that every single time. For this last tray, I only had a couple of drops of kudzu left in the jar, so I mixed in the colored drop cloth, which is a creamy white color, and I poured in a little bit of the vintage duck egg, and I got a lighter shade of green, very much in the kudzu family, but lighter. And these are the stencils that I'm going to use for this project. I just got them at Hobby Lobby and cut the sheet apart to use. I am going to use Dixie Belle drop cloth to paint in the letters. And I will tell you some of the things that I learned while doing this project. So I learned that I probably need to measure instead of eyeball. That was the first lesson. And the second lesson is that I really need to remember to get off that paint on my stencil brush before I apply to the stencil. Less is better and more in this instance. So definitely dab off that brush before you put your paint to stencil. Second or fourth, fifth, 16th, I'm not sure, thing that I learned is maybe I should, after measuring and not eyeballing, use some painter's tape to take down these stencils. And the last thing, since I've lost count, the last thing that I learned is if you do have a lot of stenciling to do, then get you several stencil brushes, just so you that brush isn't falling apart at the end of your project and creating a mess. And that way you can switch it out if you need to. So on these beverage crates, soda crates, I just thought up some different soda names and put those on the boxes. This first one, since I'm in the state of Tennessee now, yay! And then I put TENN, abbreviation for Tennessee-ish, and then soda. You'll see in a few minutes, because I eyeballed and didn't measure, and that I have a large gap in the middle, and I do fill that in, and you'll see that at the end on the final project. So I'm just going to let you watch me stencil and listen to some music. I need something right there. I knew measuring probably would have been the best choice. I did not do that. So for each of the shorter signs, I used this Christmas stencil, because I'm a big believer of, even if it's for a holiday, find a way to use it year round. So it makes it most sense. So here I am eyeballing that again, and measuring with my fingers, because that makes sense. So I'm just going to use the fresh delivery on the sides, on the short sides of all of these crates. And I do not know where this stencil came from. No idea. But I'm just going to use just the fresh delivery part on these. I pulled up the stencil and noticed that there was a blob of paint there, which, you know, is the whole wipe off your stencils before you use it and dab off your paint so it doesn't bleed underneath your stencil. And a wet paper towel did get that off, and the F, I just left it kind of blobby. I figured that I'll be distressing these, and it will be okay in the end. So for this one, I think I'm going to spell Old Soda Company, and once again, I'm just eyeballing it and putting them on there. I don't suggest eyeballing. I suggest measuring. Do as I say, not as I do, right? I am so excited to join this Stencil Sunday playlist hosted by the Painted Peach and Funky Junk Inspiration. It encouraged me to get outside of my box and try these stencils. Visit the whole playlist down in the description box below. To distress each of the trays, I went over them first with a brown wax. This is Vesting wax in brown from Dixie Belle. And I've just covered like a whole section with that Dixie Belle Vesting wax in brown. And then I used a clear wax on another brush to use as an eraser, basically, just to take some of that back. This is the best way that I could figure out to do it. The brown wax didn't wipe off on its own with a paper towel, and putting on the clear wax and then the brown wax over it did not give me the look that I wanted. So this was the best option for me to make it look the way that I wanted it to. I hope that you found this fun and inspiring. And if you like the video, please click that like button and subscribe to see more of my crafting adventures, and we can learn together. We can upcycle, DIY, thrift flip, thrift shopping, and doing some booth work together. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know which soda crate is your favorite